Living in Chattanooga, Tennessee, should you rent or buy a home right now? We're going to talk about that on Chat Room. Welcome back to Chat Room. I'm with my co-host.
Hey, Michael here.
And today we're talking about renting or buying a home in Chattanooga, Tennessee. So first of all, the average rent price right now is $1,300 a month. And the average apartment for that price is about 942 square foot. Not a lot of area to live in. So about 4% of the people that are renting in Chattanooga are paying $501 to $700. About 15% of people are paying $701 to $1,000. And about 51% are paying $1,001 to $1,500. And about 25% are paying $1,500 to $2,000. And about 5% are paying greater than $2,000. So that being said, like we said, the average rent price is $1,300. You're not really getting much for that. And the average home price right now is $285,000 in Chattanooga, Tennessee. And with a 5% interest rate, because that's what the banks and these mortgage companies around that, might be a little higher, might be a little lower. But that's the gist. You know what I mean? And with like a 3% down payment, because I do know a lot of mortgage companies and a lot of banks that will allow you to only put 3% down. And that's on a 30-year fixed rate. That is $1,400 a month. So, Michael, based on those stats, would you say you should rent or you should buy a home right now?
Yeah, that's tough because, so just full disclosure, right now I'm renting and I've got one roommate. I'm actually about to switch out, but still the same number of roommates. And it sounds like because I'm in a house and not an apartment, that I have more than the average space, but our rent cost, I'll just say, is about the average rent.
Right.
I won't necessarily go too precise, but it's about the average rent. And for me, and kind of where I'm at now, and just, with varying expenses, it's kind of been better for me to rent.
Right.
Now, I would definitely say, though, the cost difference that you pointed out between $1,400 and $1,300, that's pretty minimal. So it sounds like, even though prices are maybe a bit high, so, maybe kind of keep waiting for them to drop, which I've seen a lot of realtors post lately. Hey, here's a discount. This house just dropped $10,000.
Right.
This house just dropped $5,000. So, maybe now is already the good time. But yeah, it's the kind of thing where, if you think you're going to be in Chattanooga for a while, which, fantastic city. I've clearly been here for a while now.
Right.
And yeah, so, I could definitely see kind of the push to move. And I think it's one of those things where housing prices will fluctuate, but you do get benefits still from housing. And that's always historically been one of the ways to both make and retain wealth in America.
Right.
And there's always been a lot of disparities with that too. It's not always been, equal for everybody, but, there tends to be just more things that you kind of get with that.
Right.
And yeah, I know this is, again, all almost contradictory with me knowing that I am not planning to look for a house anytime soon and instead just, signed another lease with my new roommate. So
right.
Again, that's just my personal finances more than anything. So yeah, I would say, especially based on what you told me, but even just kind of, again, what I've seen locally, I'd say if you can get a house, I'd still do that.
Right. I think based on like where we are in the economy right now, I think it's kind of depends on and I think you hit on this a little bit, but it's really based on like your situation right now. Like if you've got 3 kids and you make enough money to afford a home and you plan on being here for at least 7 to 10 years, I personally would buy. I wouldn't buy anything more than you could afford, but there's definitely still options out there to buy a home and still be paying like that 1-bedroom apartment rent. So like in that case, I would get a home, but at the same time, $285,000, like that's the average Chattanooga Tennessee price, and everyone wants a really nice home. So you're not going to be really shopping for the really nice homes. You know what I'm saying? So
Yeah.
I feel like it really just depends on where you're at. Like right now, like I just couldn't see myself buying like the bottom of the food chain of the housing when I don't even need all that space. You know what I mean? And maybe try to see where it goes. Not saying it's going to go down, not saying it's going to go up, but you know what I mean? It's
Sure.
like, I'm just going to relax, kind of save money and figure it out. And then there's also a lot of things that come with housing. Like, you know, you have, like if your air unit goes out, you have to fix that. If you rent something, a lot of the times you don't have to fix that. You know what I mean? So like if your drain breaks or anything, or your roof has a leak, a lot of times you call the company or the person that you're renting from, and in y'all's contract that's required to fix. So that could save a lot of money depending on how lucky, how unlucky you get in that situation. So I definitely think it really just depends on your situation. I don't think there's really like a right answer whether you should rent, whether you should buy.
Yeah, it is. It is so varied, and you make a good point about kind of the hidden costs of housing, because I'd say for years I always thought I was going to move away from Chattanooga. I'm pretty much not now. I love it here. I love my job. My friends, all that. But I think for the longest time, that was kind of my reasoning for not looking into getting a house. But now it is those costs, which for me, that would be just enough of a burden on my finances as they are to have to deal with, changing, a room, just fixing something that breaks. Yeah, AC unit, stove, whatever.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I think that's a very great point. And you kind of touched on it too, but exactly like where you're at in your life.
Yeah.
I do think, if you think you're going to be around for a while, because one of my friends, she bought a house and it's exciting. Not a lot of people in our family had ever owned property. So it's, a really big deal for her and her family. But she realized that she wanted to be a little more mobile and she felt tied down by her house.
Yeah.
Now, there's still benefits. She happens to live in a part of Chattanooga that's having a real kind of moment right now where it's being gentrified, and that may hurt her, may help her. Hard to say,
Yeah.
but, it's possible she'll end up on top because she's probably one of the few people that owns a home in that neighborhood.
Yeah.
So that might work out for her even after feeling anchored down.
Right.
But yeah, it's like a lot of things, even what I was saying, like that's not my advice to you. I'm not like, go get a house now. That's just simply based on kind of the general numbers, where it looks like the housing market is going. That's kind of why I was inclined for that. But John, you are absolutely right. Everybody has to take their own situation into account.
Just to end the video a little bit, we're not financial advisors. We are not telling you to go buy a home. We're not telling you to go rent. This is just our personal opinions based on what we know. Obviously, we're not experts. So just keep that in mind, everyone.
Yep.
Like and subscribe for more videos, and we're out.
Take care.